team.
So we're doing an alumni panel. These people have been successful since graduating, whether it's helping people and or landing jobs and moving up in career, and just been successful since life in Beacon. So I wanted them to, and don't get me wrong, all of y'all have been successful, but I talked to them. So not that I don't talk to you, but I talked to them about it. And
We answered her call
yeah.
because she called, and we couldn't hang up.
Well, and you work here, so you see her.
I do.
Yeah. Well, I wanted Andrew's view because he does work here and he's seen the school from when we went here to what it is now, and he obviously sees how it's changing and evolving, and he's been successful in moving up in his position too.
Kind of you to say.
And he bought a car, so he's successful in other ways. So I want, please, there's a couple questions here that the president's gonna ask, and then they're gonna chime in, but please do questions and ask them questions, and get as much info as you want that might be beneficial to y'all. So welcome to the alumni panel. We have Andrew Marvin, Jamar Butler, Stephen Staik, President, Steve Adams, Dr. Rosalyn Johnson. Take it away.
As you hear, I'm going to be the moderator for this whole panel. So the first question for the alumni. Can you share your thoughts on how you prepared yourself for a career?
Start over here? All
Yeah,
right.
go for it.
How I prepared myself for a career, I really annoyed the career development guy while I was here, Kendall Pageant, and I argued with him a lot about what my internship would look like. But how I prepared myself for today, there's a lot of stuff that went into it. I joined business networking groups. I joined Dale Carnegie programs. Dale Carnegie is a well-known public speaker and influencer, and I took a couple classes of his after graduating, and that contributed. I read the books people told me to, like the guy who came up today. I have already bought 3 of the books he recommended. It's so I'm a bit voracious in that regard. So that's kind of how I focused my success, because I felt like I didn't know anything. It's your turn.
Okay, cool. The way I planned for my success is when I first I left college. I got my degree, then goodbye, all my things. A couple months later, I was picked up by AT&T to be their technical support engineer. Did that, I got skills, I got knowledge. The thing is that when you leave, okay, you are what we call entry level. You have no experience. So you gotta go to places that's gonna offer you opportunity and experience to gain and make yourself more marketable. So AT&T gave me the opportunity to build my skill sets. And once I grabbed those skill sets, I put that on my resume, and then sent my resume out. Now, my resume only went to 2 people, which was defense contracting and department, and then government positions, period. So I was good at AT&T. I was fine. I was gonna stay there for who knows how long. And then the government came back, said, we got this internship open. I grabbed it. I ain't gonna lie. I was making just about the same as AT&T, but I knew being in the government, there's gonna be more opportunities, more doors open, and everything. So after I transitioned to be an internship for 1 year, it's after 1 year, you bust your ass. I'm sorry for my French. If you bust your hiney, then you will be eligible to stay. And there was 11 internships open. Out of the 11 of us, there was 3 of us left. So basically, some people took the internships for granted, and they were not welcome back on board. Myself, I was one of the 3 that was welcome back on board. The position they had on open was within the cyber department, and I really didn't have that much skill sets, but when they told me that I might be coming on, I grabbed the nearest cyber book. I talked to a lot of people in cyber, and I gained that knowledge. I gained all that experience from them. And then when they asked me to test questions, I passed it. So basically, when you come out from college, like I said, you're not gonna have that much experience. But as long as you make yourself marketable and you actually put the time in for the career that you want, you will be successful. It doesn't matter if you have a disability or not. You shouldn't even call yourself a disability, just call yourself a gift. That's what they call people. You don't have a disability, you have a gift. You just have a different process of learning how to use your gift. So once you leave, it's up to you to how you want to apply your gift to other people to make yourself marketable. And with that, you will be successful.
Why don't you repeat the question again, just to refresh it for everyone, 'cause I already forgot the question. And then I want to say that you guys can be as honest as you want, because
Oh, we can be honest?
well,
Then I need to start over.
I know that he said Heine, but like, just give the truth and like give your real feelings.
Well, I just saw
'cause
the
it's
camera. I was like,
hard-
oh man, is this gonna be on
He
national
can
TV?
edit it. You can cut it out.
Okay. Oh, you can edit it out. All right, we did then.
But it just would make it more personal for everyone else, because it's hard out there, and we all know.
Well, it is a cutthroat environment in the government. I ain't gonna lie.
it is.
Basically, you don't have to kiss ass to be considered to stay in the government. As long as you do what you gotta do, you come in on time, you bust your ass. Yes, I'm saying it. And you do what the bosses said, because within the government, you have to listen to what they say. It doesn't matter if they're a petty officer, colonel, general. I work under a general. So I have to give 110% to him. So as long as you come in on time, you do what you gotta do, you listen to what you guys listen to, you'll be fine. You deviate from any one of those threes and you'll find yourself in trouble. But like I said, you just do those three and you'll be fine. They won't look at you, they won't say like, okay, he's lazy or whatever. If you do what you gotta do, they'll be like, okay, he's dependable, I can use this guy, I think he might be good for this position up here, whatever. You know, just come in, do what you gotta do, go home. And that's what I do.
So repeat the question again. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share your thoughts on how you prepare yourself for a career? That's the question. So go ahead, Steve.
Alrighty. Well, how I prepare myself for my career is I started at a very young age. I work as a bus monitor for Lake County with the special ed children. How I prepare mine is I started very young at age 13 volunteering, and I moved up through my life working with special ed children as a teaching assistant. And then I chose Beacon to come, yes, to learn and yes, to advance my education. But I also came here to learn different teaching techniques, how to deal with different disabilities, to teach others the disability does not stop you from learning, from living life, not learning how to set goals. If you have a disability, you can't use it as a roadblock. You have to make alternate routes to get around that block in your road of learning to accomplish a new goal. So that's what I've learned. And yes, I'm a bus monitor, but you know what? I'm much happier being a bus monitor than not having a job at all. I still work with the kids. What I've learned from my life of working and going to school, I share with the kids on the bus. I may be on the bus for 30 minutes with them, but you know what? When you get kids on the bus and give you a high five or give you a thumbs up and they're nonverbal, at least I got that block through them that, hey, life is good. So it's all about reaching out, and what you've learned to overcome, you have to share with the world, and that's how you become successful. Having a title, no big deal. If you can make a difference in one child's life by giving a thumbs up or giving a high five or giving a hello, hey, that's success, because you have helped that person reach their goal. So that's how I've considered myself successful.
Hey, Steven.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, clapping.
So what I did was to try to be successful in my career is I set a goal and looked at where I wanted to be in 5 years, and I made sure that I followed the steps that I needed to be able to achieve that goal. So when I was in 7th grade, I knew that I wanted to become a counselor. So at 13, I knew that was going to be my career choice, and I knew I wanted to get my master's when all the other kids in high school were doing things they weren't supposed to do and they weren't focused. I was planning out my life, my career, where I wanted to go to school, what I wanted to do. what master's programs I wanted to be in. So I was kind of on a different track as I was very focused oriented. So something else I did was I minimized a lot of distractions and things that would kind of hold me back from being focused. Because distractions can really kind of deviate you from being on your path, especially in a PhD program where a lot of people take 5 to 10 years to complete a doctorate program. I completed mine in the regular 4 years, and I wrote a whole dissertation while working full time in 10 months. Where a lot of people, it takes them 3 to 5 years to write a dissertation. So I just have to be very disciplined and be very focused, and not let things distract you. What I also did was I kind of used the fuel of people telling me that I wasn't going to be successful and that I wasn't going to be able to reach any potential in my life or become anything, or that I would be mentally retarded. And I kind of used that as the fire to kind of prove those people wrong and prove myself, that I could, accomplish things no matter what limits people tried to set for me. So that was a driving force that I kept in the back of my mind when I was working on my PhD.
Awesome.
So, question 2. What does success mean to you? So I want to start with this side.
Success means to me just, not only academic success or financial success, but also just being happy, doing something that you love and being in a career that you love and doing something you're passionate about. You can be successful but be completely miserable. So it's also about being content and being happy at the end of the day, and having a life that's very fulfilling and just doing what you love and being able to give back and help people. I'm in the helping profession. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. So I've dedicated my career to helping people. So that's something that I'm passionate about. So in that sense, I'm successful because I'm fulfilling my life's goal, my dream of what I wanted to do. I provide marriage and family therapy. I provide mental health counseling, substance abuse counseling, individual counseling for children, adults, couples. So I'm doing something that helps me fulfill my life's goal and being able to give back at the end of the day, and knowing that I've able to help somebody or help someone with a marriage or help someone with a crisis, So that's kind of what success means to me, is just being able to do something fulfilling and giving back and being able to do what you love and be passionate about.
Success for me in my career is when I see a ESE child on the bus, nonverbal, and they're sitting in their seat not doing anything, and if I can break communication or have interaction with them, that's success to me. I call my whole life a success. How far I've came, what kind of changes I've made in people's lives, what I've accomplished, and just basically reaching new goals, setting higher goals, and helping other people out in the world who need help setting new goals, helping and assisting them in conquering and achieving their goals so they can succeed later in life.
Repeat the question again.
What does success mean to you?
I mean, success, what it means to everybody, could be in a broad sense that, okay, I have my car, I have my house, I have a wonderful family, kids, whatever. I mean, my personal view of my success is that I want to learn more. I mean, I'm successful now, but I'm not satisfied. I mean, I'm cool where I'm at, but I want to attain more. And I could be I'm satisfied, I'm successful, but I still want to hit that higher stepping. I want to keep climbing that mountain because my dream is to work with the FBI. So when I hit that, then I'll be totally satisfied and successful. I'm successful now, but I want to be more. So in my sense, I'm okay. I had to hit that level of satisfaction yet, but it will soon with the knowledge and everything I'm learning and the people I'm around with. I will attain that goal probably within 5 years or less. So my success will be to be continued.
Well, it's absolutely what's already been listed, but I think for me, success is often varies from day to day. Sometimes when I struggle with motivation and depression, success is getting out of bed in the morning, and then other days, success is being able to plan an entire week open house and what the next 5 years is going to look like. So success can have very different intonations depending on who I wake up that morning being and how I'm feeling and what's going on in my life. So being able to get to work on time, you should celebrate the small successes. You know, you should celebrate a success that you made it to your parents' house on Thanksgiving for a great time. You should celebrate the success of getting that project done. I think the thing that keeps me getting out of bed and doing the work and putting the time in to be an assistant director here at this college really is that I am chasing the success I want to have 5 years from today. You know, I'm chasing me 5 years from now. And that dude's successful. And that dude has hopes. And so I'm just always trying to reach him. And I'm always 5 years behind that guy. And that has become what success looks like for me. Because, you know, that guy gets out of bed in the morning. That guy has a stable relationship. That guy remembers to take out the garbage on Mondays. You know, that guy has it handled. And I think that for me, that evolution, kind of what Jamar was saying, I am somewhat satisfied, but I do not yet feel successful, while I am still having small successes along the way. So I think for you guys, if we can impart any wisdom, is that you should probably try celebrating things. You showed up today. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that's to be applauded. Thank you, Jamar. I appreciate that. So I think there's a lot of little things in that. You know, there's that gift in every moment. What is success to you? Yeah, pound it.
All right, question number 3. What are the steps you have taken to be successful since graduation?
Oh, well, therapy, medication, doctor visits, you know, haircuts, laundry. There's a lot. I mean, I took classes, I went to seminars, I took everything I could read to learn. I visited schools. I put myself in uncomfortable situations socially to even try to make new friends that were outside of college. You know, making adult friends in workplaces is very challenging. It's hard. It's particularly hard when you work at the place you went to college. So those successes can really be the stepping stones that got me where I am today. I mean, those are the things I did. I tried, and I didn't stop trying. So, did I answer the question? I can't remember anymore.
I think you did.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Repeat the question.
Sure.
Yes, please.
What are the steps you have taken to be successful since graduation?
Well, trying not to go back into what I said earlier, but basically, it's all about focusing what you have in front of you. Like I said, you have no skill sets, get skill sets.
Yeah.
Read, talk to people, know the right people to socialize with. Once you get those skill sets, good. Now you're marketable. Now I can say, hey, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, I know how to do this. I don't know how to do this yet, but I'm going to read on it so I can learn how to do this so I can come work at a particular job. So once you learn that skill set, then you can climb the mountain and go for that particular job that you want. Now, after you get there, if you want to keep going, then guess what? Do the same thing. You read, talk to people, learn. And that's basically how it is in this world, because half of it is what you know how to do, and the other half is who you know. So if you know somebody that's in that certain department, like, hey, I've been studying on this, I know a little about this, how good am I to have a shot at this particular position? You can say, well, since you know this, you need to learn this also. So in my field, you have certificates, A+, Security Plus, Network Plus, Cyber, whatever. So be like, okay, to get this position, you need to learn Cyber. Okay, cool. 2 weeks of studying, take the test. Okay, I got my certification. Can I apply? Yeah, welcome on board. Cool. To get that, now to go to the next step, you gotta study. That's all it is. That's all it is. So just bust your ass studying, learn who you need to talk to, and be successful.
Well, in my career, in life, my steps is you got to start from the bottom. You got to look at what you want to do and study it from 8 different views. You got to look at the top and see who's who, like the superintendent or whoever it might be, and ask questions from the top. So what does it take to be where you're at as a leader or as a manager or as the owner? And then look down from the top and see what kind of steps it was going to have to take to reach the top. Because out in the world, there's no paved roads. It's like a road always under construction until you fix the road and pave that road to that particular job. It's going to take a lot of steps to reach where you want to be. So getting a job, finding a job, and keeping a job is all about taking steps to achieving that job. So I would just say you gotta learn it, understand it, view it, ask questions, talk to people within that realm of work, and just take the first step. It may not be the big step to become a manager or a supervisor, but it might be just be an assistant, and just step by step, and you'll achieve your job.
Let's see, for me it was getting further in my education. So I had a 10-year plan, graduated high school 2005, graduated bachelor's 2009, graduated my master's 2011, and graduated my doctorate in 2015. So for me it was very much just staying focused on the road of education and obtaining my degree so that I could get to where I wanted to be in my career. So within like a 6 or 7 year time of graduating from Beacon, I'm where I wanted to be at in my career. So every degree I've gotten has elevated me to the next level of my career. So that's definitely has been a positive. My master's degree, I was able to get, like a job in the field as a counselor, like I said, with very little experience. But I was able to get my foot in the door, and then I became licensed, and then that opened more doors. And then, I completed my master's, and then I completed my doctorate, and then I was able to get a job as a professor and also be in a clinical supervisor, director role, which is what I do now. So every degree I've gotten has prepared me for that next level in my career. So definitely, the educational piece is important because a master's degree now is the new bachelor's. So, bachelor's used to be perfectly fine for entry level. Now a lot of jobs are looking for master's degrees, especially if you want to make, decent salary. So definitely, it's something to consider if you want to, move up in your career, is that education is the key to open a lot of those doors and opportunities.
I wonder, I want to see if anyone has questions before we ask. I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 other. Does anyone have questions, since I don't want to get too further in this and then people forget what we've been talking about?
I'll ask.
Okay.
And then Mr. Sweet next.
You
And
go
he raised
first.
his hand.
You go first.
He did raise his hand.
Yes.
It's fine. So like, I mean, you probably all already answered this, so sorry if I'm kind of
Are you directing your question to one of us or all of us?
all of you, I guess. Like, even though, like, let's say you have an idea of what you want to do, and then you get some experience, and then you know what you want to do, but which one of you actually didn't really, you had an idea of what you wanted to do? Because sometimes our career paths do change, not because it really has to, but then you finally get there, and it's like, wait, I don't think mine's going to change, but you never know, because, so what, like, actually, let me rephrase the question. Do you think it's always good to have, like, a plan B? Just in case. I mean, obviously that's
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I plan Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta.
Yeah.
But also no. Because if you spend so much time not focusing on plan A, you will be doing plan B.
Right.
That's the problem. Is if you don't go all in on plan A, yeah, you're going to fall back to plan B. So what do you want? Because if you really want a middle ground, you can do plan A or plan B. But if there's something you want more than anything, then why would you settle for a plan B? So yes, it's always good to have one, but think about where your heart is.
I agree and disagree.
I know it's a hard question.
No, I hear
It's a
you.
hard
I
question.
hear you. It's like, because you go all out for plan A. You do. It's like you want that position. And it's like, It's right in your grasp. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this position, and then somebody just knocks you.
But
off.
you're not. You're also probably not going to get that job.
Right, but that's why you go to a plan B, which I understand. I agree with you.
Yes, I
100%.
know. That's the
I
trouble
do.
with this
That's what I'm
problem.
saying. That's why you go all out for plan A.
But then you're gonna have the plan B job, but then still.
But you can have the plan B job, but then when the
But
plan
then-
A job opens up, then you go right back to plan A.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Alex has something else. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, sorry. I guess like for me, what I want to get into, I don't really have a set, like, I mean, for example, yes, I would love to be a dolphin trainer.
Sure.
But let's say, because for my field I want to get into, there's multiple, like, especially now that I'm coming back for a degree, it's like, but I guess in journals, let's say that field of, let's say I get this degree. I'm not saying I'm excited, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But let's say that doesn't fall through. It's always good to like kind of, not saying I'm not at that point yet. I don't think because I'm doing pretty well. But I'm saying in general, like it just in case, because I don't really have a set exact job I want to do. But my ultimate dream is just being literally like with ocean animals, and that could be a broad subject. So I guess it's like one of those things where it's like
Then I would say
Sorry.
to quickly kind of, and then I'd love to hear what the other end of the table has to say. But it's okay to start your plan A now, and when you get established, then start working on your plan B. Because you haven't even started plan A yet. So you can't come up with a plan B until you know what A is. So get started, get going. You will meet the professors in that major. Those are the people that Jamar's saying you need to talk to figure out. And they may all of a sudden discover that your plan A has been plan B all along.
Basically.
You know, and you might discover an entirely new way. Because I know you want to be a dolphin trainer. 'Cause the reason where you work is why you're focusing on that. But it's not happening. You're finding another way around it. That sounds like a great plan B.
I'm gonna add this.
Yeah.
Always follow your passion. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter the dollar amount, because it's better to go to work and not call it work and get a paycheck than going to work and being miserable.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter what the dollar amount is. Just follow your passion, and then you'll be okay.
What is it like? You do what you love. You never work a day in your life.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that statement.
Exactly. That's what Rosalyn's doing. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all doing what we're doing, including Mr. Adams.
Rosalyn's a perfect example of doing what you love.
Exactly. Do
And
what
boy,
you-
did she charge forward. It was impressive, man.
It's all good.
You guys ready for the next question?
Maybe.
Well, I don't think the other table.
Yeah, I'll answer Alex's question.
Well, you said you wanted to be a dolphin trainer?
Well, I guess I was saying, I mean, I do, but I'm saying in general, like, let's say, for me, I do, but I also wouldn't mind being like an Aquarius or something with, like, I don't exactly have a certain.
So your question is more about like.
Well,
water
basically,
pla-
where you should start is by going out and exploring different avenues that deals with animals. You know, there's going out and looking at the world as a whole and see where your interest leads you, and that way you're not set on plan A or plan B. You get to see the whole picture at once, and once you find an interest, then start say this is a possible plan A and a plan B, but look at the whole picture and just not narrow down just to one little thing. Open the like in psychology, one of the I forgot what it was. Joel Osteen says on TV he's a pastor. The smallest part in the car is your rearview mirror. You know why that is?
Because he bought a bigger car.
No, because it's not what's important is behind you. What's important is in front of you, because the windshield is the biggest part of the car, because you're always looking forward to it. And when you look forward and see the whole picture, you get to see it all. You don't need to worry about what's in the past.
Yeah. Also, you need
Yep.
to find out information on where you want to work. So let's say Myers Aquarium, do they accept entry level trainers? Of course, SeaWorld is probably not going to accept entry level trainers. Let's be honest right now, because those guys are experienced. But you need to look for places that set entry level positions. Go there, get your experience, and then you'll be marketable for bigger companies out there like SeaWorld.
I mean, I guess the question would be, by a show of hands in the audience, how many of you are working in your dream job right now?
There we go. Boom.
Okay, how many of you are not working in your dream job?
Damn.
Okay, so talk to those people. Guys, talk to each other.
I was expecting something
I-
more dramatic.
Listen, I did not think I would be doing this job. I did not.
You're
I
right.
did not think I would be doing this job. I went for a degree in human services. Someone offered me a job to work at the college. I became a coordinator of tours, admissions counselor, because somebody left the position and they needed a body. Not because I had experience, I was a body. I just happened to be an alumni. That's what made me different than any other people applying. And then I learned how to do this job. It is not what I went to school for.
You do it well.
There you go.
I do it
Boom.
as best as I've learned how, and I've had some great trainers. But all of a sudden, a year ago, a master's degree program opened up, and it was because of this job that illuminated that path. I had no idea what I was going to do. The fact that I've been at this job for 5 years is great. But you will do something. You'll have 6 different careers in your life.
Yeah.
Don't be so concerned with plan A, plan B too much. I think we should move on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably negative.
Yeah, no, it's not negative. It's a really good question. It's a really good question.
As evidenced by the fact that
It's a hard question.
It's very difficult.
Well, what I would say, 'cause you forgot me.
Yeah.
What I would
didn't
say
forget
is that even though you have a plan for yourself, it may not be the plan that God has for you. That's what I've learned over the years. That, my plan for myself may be, okay, I want to be here. I want to be here in a year or two, but that's not what God has for me. So there's a reason why things don't happen maybe when you want them. It's because it's not the right time. And so just keep that in mind as it's a hard lesson sometimes that we have to learn because we want things right now and right then, but it's not meant to happen right then. So if you don't get that job, there's a reason why you didn't get that job. It might not be because you weren't the right fit or you weren't meant to be for that company. Maybe, it has to be not only the right fit for the employee, it also has to be the right fit for the company. So you just have to remember that the right job is out there for you, and you just have to wait and be patient and wait for it to come along and get that experience. And like I said, soak up as much knowledge as you can, so that way when you get that right job, you'll be ready for it.
I have learned that with some things, patience. It's good to be driven, but you have to have patience too.
Right.
My man.
'Cause they don't happen when they're supposed to happen, or they don't happen when we want them to happen, but they happen when they're supposed to happen.
Moving on. All right.
Question number 4. What obstacles have you run into while searching for a career?
Rosalyn.
Yeah. Who do you want to start?
Rosalyn.
Yeah.
Just a lot of competition, I'd say. It's kind of like Jamar's, kind of cutthroat for a lot of jobs. So it's not always based on what you know, it's based on who you know. So, you're competing against people that have a lot, maybe yours experience, maybe they're a lot older or whatever. So, those are some of the obstacles that I've challenged, I've faced as far as challenges. Definitely the experience piece. Experience is everything. A lot of times it trumps education. So, experience is what people look for when they really look for a candidate. The education is kind of the baseline, depending on the job. But, experience is really the key to be able to get your foot in the door. So, if you don't have that experience, unless you have a person who's interviewing you who's willing to give you that chance, that opportunity, it's very difficult to land that dream job. So because everything is becomes based on experience. So
Some obstacles, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It all boils down to who you know. But the problem there is communication. If you're afraid to talk out to the public and talk to strangers, that's a big struggle for most people, is walking out in that world, because you're in the college, you know everybody here and you're comfortable talking to everyone, but when you enter that world, it's a whole different place out there because you don't know who you're talking to.
Well, obstacles in my particular job field is basically education and experience. And of course, dealing with the military. So somebody comes from Afghanistan and you get that job that is like, okay, you're in for it. Then somebody comes from Afghanistan, is like, hey, I need a job. And you're here, now you're over here, and it's like, damn, now I have to start from the bottom again. That's an obstacle. But guess what? You can't let that roadblock in your way. Like, okay, fine. He outtrumps me, has more years experience, and he's a veteran. Fine, no problem. As a civilian, you just have to keep going. You have to get back on that horse and keep going. And basically, the only thing that's going to hold you back is yourself. So if you just give up and just let other people just run over you, then you're not gonna be successful. I mean, as long as you keep working towards a certain goal and keep doing your education, keep talking to the right people, because be like, okay, this position is closed, but nobody knows about this position that's open up for a couple of weeks. You know, I can get you a foot in the door before it goes public. I'm like, hey, cool. Actually, that's how I got to where I'm at right now, to be honest, because the cyber position that was supposed to be posted up on USA Jobs or whatever, they kind of gave it to me to fill out so I can have my own, I guess, internal interview. I picked it up, and then they opened 2 more positions after that. So it's basically who you know, and if you have the education to grab it, you'll be okay. Sure.
Can you repeat the question for me? Oh, you already crushed this. I can't crush it more. No, it's full.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So, what obstacles have you ran into while searching for a career?
Okay, I think broadly, the biggest obstacle I face is myself. Quite often is you guys know how you feel like you get in your own way sometimes, or you get overexcited about something, or you just kind of don't set yourself up right. You know, you could have woke up an hour earlier to get to work, you know, an hour before everyone else to get some work done, but then you know you have that meeting at 9 o'clock, so you really could have done it, but then you didn't, and then thusly you shoot yourself in the foot. You know, you are your obstacle, and I think the thing that the person who I am, whether I am ambitious or whether I pull back to not take a challenge when it comes to me, or I face challenges, whether I succeed or fail, I am the obstacle. You know, I'm only limited by my thinking, my doing, any actions or adjectives you want to add. That is the thing I think I struggle with in the career path is I want to move forward, but I really like where I am, but I am afraid of being stagnant, of not doing anything progressive. And so I am in a constant wrestle of how am I good to my team while also trying to better myself so I don't have to be here forever. So that's the obstacle I tend to face when I look at careers is, you know, am I too comfortable? Am I educating myself for when this is no longer comfortable, I can move forward? You know, am I leaving my team in the next 7 years in a good place, better than when I found it? So that's how I see the obstacles that affect my career choices. Tim asked me not to drop any mics.
So, final question. What advice could you share with other alumni that could be helpful?
So I want to touch on something that was brought up delicately earlier. We obviously all are sort of under the understanding and umbrella that we have learning disabilities, ADHD or ASD in some way or another. And what I would encourage you to talk about is you've heard each of us on the panel and kind of in ways how we identify ourselves with our LD or whether they're separate or whole parts of ourselves. My advice to you as alumni is to keep thinking about who you are as an individual. And while you are pieces of a whole person, there are parts of you that will need more help than others. And not to be mean to those parts, to not be discouraging to those parts of you that are not as adept, whether it be socially or academically, that you really try to focus on, if you really want to accomplish it all, try to be nice to yourself. Because that is probably one of the hardest things you'll do, because we grew up in a system that doesn't cater to who we are as individuals, but now that we have gotten through the bachelor's degrees or associate's degrees, we are in a place where we can manipulate the world we live in because we can get the jobs, we can position ourselves. So all I ask and impart is that you just be nice to who you are and you be cognizant of the things you say about yourself, particularly when it relates to your learning disability or your ADHD or ASD. So that's my comment.
Basically, don't give up on your goals. Always fight for what you want to fight for and keep fighting for it. Yes, we have LD, or I call it gifts. Like I say, you just have to exploit your gifts in a way that you can make yourself helpful. I have talked to Miss Chelsea about sending out open positions within the government to whoever she wants to supply it to, because there are internships and there are entry-level positions I do see come across my table, and I do want to offer anybody that wants to be in the government or be a government contractor opportunities to be out there. I will be talking to Miss Chelsea later on today to see if any more opportunities do come up. I'll try to send like an email at least once a week to help you guys out, because I want you guys to be successful when you get out here, or at least have an internship while you're in school so you can learn the skills, and then when you leave, be more successful, be more marketable when you get out of here, if you plan to follow what you want to do. And if it's in the government or whatever you want to be, at least you'll have the skill sets to make yourself marketable.
To repeat the question, what events, sorry, what, sorry, I can't talk today.
It says right there.
I know what it says. I'm just having a brain fart, you know.
Okay, he's collecting himself.
Collecting. What advice could you share with other alumni that can be helpful?
For one thing, don't let your LD tell people who you are. Don't let your LD stand in the place of reaching your goals. Show the world what you have to offer and try your best. Go out there and give it 100%. Yes, you do have a diagnosis, but it's not you. It's just a diagnosis. A diagnosis does not show the boss who you are. You do. It all comes down to how you present yourself and how you perform. So don't let a diagnosis or an LD tell who you are, because you're not that. It's just a label on a piece of paper, and that's just a label. It's not who you are, it's what you have to deal with. So you've got to learn to handle it yourself. Seek help if you need to help with it, but don't ever use your LD as your pity me thing. Be who you are, be honest, be 100% pure, and go out there and be successful.
I would just say, being a self-advocate and advocating for your needs or things that you want, if whether it's on the job or in school, just advocating for those things and not being ashamed or embarrassed to say, hey, I need this in order to be able to be successful, with this academically, or I need this in order to be successful, with this job and my career, and just being able to be assertive, I think is extremely important, as well as just being very disciplined, having good time management. Like the Admiral talked about, that's very important. Having good organization skills is extremely important. And just, really being persistent, self-determined, and goal-oriented. Those are the things that you really need to have as part of personal qualities in order to be able to be successful.
Does the audience have any questions?
Does your learning disability affect you at the workplace?
Yes.
How do you overcome that?
That's a
Yes,
great question.
absolutely affects me. I don't know, man. You keep charging forward. I mean, we're all gonna have like a super duper different answer. I don't separate myself from me and my learning disability. It's all one thing. Whether or not it's a diagnosis or anything, it's still me. You take away my learning disability, you take away who I am. That you can't do that to me. I'm a human being.
That's your superpower.
That's my superpower. So I get the gift, whatever doctors are saying. So yes, totally.
What kind of strategies do you use to
Well, Rosalyn said one. She asked
Time
asked
management.
for
I mean,
rules
Yeah.
that would make her successful.
I was just wondering about each one of these.
So I have a standing desk. I have a notepad I usually carry around with me and spare paper. I take lots of calendar appointments. I exercise in the morning rather than the afternoon. I try to set myself up. There's lots of things you could do. To keep mine brief, if there's a book you're interested in reading on how to, evade that, Dr. Howell wrote a book on driven to distraction, and he particularly has a book called Driven to Distraction at Work, which was extremely helpful to identify in myself things that I could do to set myself up for success. So let me tag.
Me?
Everybody.
Oh, my tag. Okay, so I have no problem saying what I have. I have ADHD or ADD, what you want to call it. So the thing that sets me off from making my mind wander is sugar.
Oh yeah.
Sugar or anything that says within the label that says acid, they're fooling you. If it says acid within the label, it means sugar or some type of sweetener. Okay, I learned this from my doctor. So even though it says, oh, there's no sugar in it, I read this. If I read the label, it says acid this, acid that. Okay, it's still gonna make me go off. So I drink lots of water, not because of that, because I'm on a CrossFit diet. But still, water makes me focus more, and not eating sugar in the workplace also helps me.
That's a good tip.
It is,
That's
and
good.
and to keep my mind focused when I get home from homework, I play video games.
Nice.
Okay, that keeps if I feel my brain going out, I just play hour games and then I turn it off and then I'm back in focus and I can do my work. So, I mean, as long as you have an extracurricular activity, like you said exercise, right?
Yeah.
I do exercise too. So whatever you gotta do to get your mind back in focus, just do it. Okay. Stay away from sugar if you have ADHD.
I think everyone's going to have a problem at the workplace,
Yeah.
regardless if you have a disability or not.
Yeah.
You're always going to have challenges. You're always going to need help overcoming something. But, I mean, take what you've learned here and how to graduate college and get through school, get through everyday life. You have obstacles every day, and you obviously work around them, and you figure out a way. It's all about planning and like thinking, okay, how can I achieve this, even though I'm not 100% sure. And you know what's the best? Okay, personal story. So we get yearly reviews for work, and I'm just gonna say, Steve, my boss, said that I ask questions if I really don't know something, and everyone has to learn. I didn't go into this job knowing anything, so I asked questions like, hey, can you help me do this? How would you do this? What's the best way? I mean, that's what life's about, is asking questions.
Yeah.
We got this far.
LD or not.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
That's how you advance forward.
Yeah. But, sorry, I had to chime in.
Oh, thanks. For me, my situation is a little bit different because I think you have to make your office your environment. Make it how you absorb the environment you're in. As you know, I work for FEMA, so I have an office that looks out to a pond in Maitland. I'm on the 3rd story. So, of course, my attention goes away and I see ducks.
Yeah.
Ducks, ooh, what the ducks are doing. But for me, I learned how to focus my time and what I'm doing. I'm very busy doing data, bringing projects from the field. And of course, you scare, if you look at a computer for a long enough period of time, your eyes go crazy. But find a time where you can take a walk, take the time, release whatever your situation's going, and also too bring those things that you learn in college, like how to proofread, how to scan stuff with reports, highlight. Those are going to be big. For me, it's now we have hundreds of project specialists in the field, and so I always proofread what they do. And yes, those mistakes, and that's being a past experience of being a higher ed professional and an instructor. I sit there, correct their mistakes, but definitely I think the biggest thing is take in your environment, make it your own, and just go with it.
Alrighty. Well, mine's a little different, with my LD, and I'm gonna ask the question here: who all watched The Big Bang Theory? Well, in my family and my work, people views me as Sheldon. Because the reason why is because I don't really communicate well with people, but I watch people. I watch how people interact. I study people on how they do things and how they complete jobs. And if people want to ask me questions, I answer them. But I also set up networks. Like Sheldon has Penny, that Amy he goes to. I have a network at work that I have a certain person I go to for advice. If I need some help with other things, I find different people to set up networks to support me making decisions, or if I need help doing a job, I find the right person to ask to solve that problem. I don't ask the whole crowd because you get 40 million answers. So if I have a certain problem at my job, I ask that person who's in charge of that area how you solve that problem. So really, I watch, I listen, and if I have questions, I ask. But if people need something from me, they ask me.
Oh, Steve, I always took you more of as a Penny. Not a Sheldon. That's good. I like that.
Let's see. What I do is I take a lot of notes because my learning disability is more auditory processing. So I have meetings constantly because I'm in administration and a department head role. So I just take a lot of notes regarding the meetings. Like somebody else said, putting a lot of meeting stuff on their calendar so that you don't forget. I have a desk calendar in my office, so I utilize that so I don't forget. Because I have outside meetings I go to in Miami, I have inside meetings, I have speaking engagements, I have to go to conferences, so just utilizing that so I can keep myself organized.
There you go.
Alex?
So like, what I have learned, this is going to be a question too, maybe this is the part one, part two, but what I have learned too is like, yes, it's obviously, like I keep saying this all the time, it's good to be driven, it's good to, be realistic too, but like, would you say like part of being successful is like, you've already answered this, I apologize, is knowing your faults and working around it? Okay, for example, let's say if I'm working on zero, because I have talked to some of the divers.
You know what? You don't need to give an example because I thought you summed it up really well.
Yeah.
Part of being success is knowing where your faults are. Part of being successful is knowing that about yourself. It's about being self-reflective,
Okay.
which sounds like you are thinking a lot about this. The danger is overthinking. Because with anything. So,
And I was going to say too, because like, I was using the diver example, like,
yes.
not because I'm giving up on it, but like, let's say I talk to them, how did you get this job? Just because their way works doesn't mean it will work for me. It's almost like applying. So would you all agree? Like, it's almost like you have to like, can't always, because maybe just me being a loner at times, you almost have to like see how that applies to you and see if it's, because it's the whole thing where it's like, even if you do ask, hey, how'd you get this job? Well, I did this, and you do it the same way they did it, it may not work for you. So would you say learning from your own faults before you can...
That's why, listen to our advice with caution.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
We all did different stuff.
Right.
Right, nobody's story is the same. Everybody did their own
I'll tell you,
path.
I will never be as determined as Dr. Rosalyn Johnson. Like, ever. Why? Because that's not who I am. So we don't have to take the same path. We can still be just as happy. I never want to work for the stuff Jamar has to do. Because if I tell people, I have to get rid of them. And it's just too complicated. You'll figure it out. Does anybody else feel this way too?
Yeah.
By show of hands so we can see who you are. Yeah, do you feel like you're changing a decision? I mean, that's hard.
Does anyone have any other questions? I know everyone.
I have a question. I can make it.
Okay.
I just thought of this right now.
For Chelsea?
All of you.
Oh.
All of you.
It's
Do you have any regrets coming to Beacon College?
Hell no.
That's a complicated question.
Why? No.
So hold
Who's gonna
on.
go
Hear me
first?
out.
Who's gonna
Hear me
go
out.
first? You go first? All right, you go first.
What I do regret in the decision is that I didn't know about it sooner, because I failed out of the first 2 colleges I went to before coming to Beacon. But here's my little asterisk point, and this is a conversation me and my mom have had a couple times, and I agree with her. And her statement was she didn't think I would have been ready to accept a Beacon College, that failure was an important part of my acceptance to come to a place that uniquely catered to me. Because I don't think I was ready then. But once I had 2 really major failures, Beacon, not that it became a better option, but it showed me more maturity in that. So I regret not coming to Beacon sooner. That's what I regret about the Beacon question.
Like, where would you have to think, I think about it as like, okay, if I didn't go to Beacon, where would my life be?
Yeah.
Like so before coming to Beacon, I got 2 offers to play for college basketball. Let's just say I'd be a really good bench warmer because my academics that's not my strong suit. It just would not be as good. So I'd be sitting on the bench, warming it up really well. But I came here, granted I didn't play basketball, which is totally fine. But my life would be completely different if I wasn't successful in school versus being successful in school.
Yeah.
So you have to think about positive stuff that you
Exactly.
You did cry a lot in the beginning.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
that's that's
Just
true,
kidding.
though.
Go ahead, Jamar.
No, because like I went to a college and then they said they cater to people with learning disabilities, but they didn't cater to the people with learning disabilities. So I kind of flunked out that class. Then my mom, she said, "Oh, well, they got this college that has learning disabilities that will understand you better." It's like, okay, cool, let's go up there. Took a trip up here. I liked it. Stay here for, I think I finished in 3 years instead of 4. So, because I took 6 classes at a time instead of 5. But I loved it here because basically Beacon shows you how to use your disability as a gift, like I said. So just because you have a disability don't mean people need to know you have a disability. I mean, you can portray if you want, or you can just use that fire and just prove everybody wrong. So basically Beacon has taught me to believe more in myself. And not give in to the naysayers like, okay, yeah, your IQ is blah blah blah, or you can't focus and you can't do this job because of your learning disability. And I tell them this, but it's like, yo, I can do anything I want to be, and I don't need your approval to tell me what I need to do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do and get to where I need to be because I want to be there, not because of what you said.
I think it's hard too because whenever you went to school, and when we went to school, Beacon was a different place than
It was. We all had, well, it was like 80 students, right?
Beacon's becoming much more collegiate, and it's becoming it's a university. Even when we went to school, it was a great school. Classes were great.
Great people.
Small, but it's like look at all the improvements that have happened out here. Wouldn't you love to have come now?
Yeah.
Duh.
Yes and no.
See, okay, well, I don't know if I would agree with that. Because,
We still have the same.
yeah, like,
yes.
like-
Those people helped us be successful.
and the reason I just like to Chelsea's comment is not because I don't believe it's true, it's because I would never want to do it again.
Oh gosh, I'm never going
Never
to
going back.
No secondary
So-
degree for me.
So I think the Beacon we all got to go to is near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
So I would never want to change the experience I had because I got to meet all of you. I got to experience the professors and we were in a place that didn't have a lot, and we made a lot. It's stone
We
soup,
had
man.
so much.
It's Beacon was stone soup,
It
and
was.
but
we stirred the soup.
yeah, and so every year it got a better and better flavor. So I mean, it's just a metaphor.
How do you make a flavor out of stone soup, though?
That's what I was saying.
Hey,
That's for another panel.
it's another panel.
Steven,
I'm not going to explain stone soup to you.
I think overall it's just taking the good from the bad.
Yeah.
Because like for instance, like yes, I'm trying to come back for a different degree, but you know what? I knew it's not just like coming back just
This
to
degree is perfect for you.
and it's not just that, it's the fact that I grew as a person. Like I wouldn't have been able to do AmeriCorps. Like even when I was here, I'll admit I was in that mindset where it's like, oh, it's Beacon. But you know what? At the same time, believe it or not, I did see the good and bad. And now that I've done AmeriCorps, I really see the good. Because you know what? Overall, college, I'm just being blunt. Yes, it's people expect to party all the time or whatever. Or
When did that happen?
Well, but no, you know what I mean?
You got to go to parties?
No, like when I was here, like people would, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm gonna say who, people would complain how it's not a big party school, but it's like you're here for your education, and I kind of knew that too. It's like, but overall, there's gonna be people who like you or not anywhere you go. So take the good from the bad. It's like, and I'm very happy I'm taking this opportunity to do this. So
You could go to the #1 party school.
Right,
but
and it's like, there's gonna be
right,
people
but
who-
it-
exactly,
It
so-
can still be unhappy with the scene.
You know, you take the good, you take the bad, and then you have the facts of life.
Exactly. So
We're all
I'm just
2D.
saying it's- yeah.
Go ahead, Steven. Marvin, you guys.
Yeah, Steve. Let's close this out.
It's really, there's really no regrets. I came here because my disability is permanent, but what Beacon has offered me, yes, I learned my academics here, but also I got tools added to my toolbox. So when I stepped out that door of Beacon College, I have the right tools to succeed in life. So Beacon has given me the right tools. I graduated in 03 with my first degree, went to another college, graduated there, and I came back to Beacon and got my second BA
Nice.
in 08. So
You liked it so much, you did it twice.
that's right.
Just like Alex.
I wouldn't have changed a thing. I liked my experience at Beacon. I liked being a part of the first group that formed the sorority. I got to be president of the sorority. I liked having Deborah Broadbeck. She was a big part of my college experience. I wouldn't trade having the mentor that I had, which was Miss Lucretia. She's become my best friend over the years, and she'll be at my wedding, my probably the birth of my first child, like everything. And she's an integral part of my life. So I wouldn't change the relationships that I have formed here. I have my 2 roommates down there that I had in college. So we had a great experience, and so I wouldn't change anything about my college experience because it's what made it unique and it's what made it special.
I think Dr. Ross said best when we were here. You're going to come back years from now and you're going to say all this stuff. Yeah. But you know what? You're not going to regret going when you did.
Yeah.
There's the people.
I don't.
And I don't regret it at all.
I miss the people.
Yeah,
I
It's a
do.
great
Well,
experience.
glad we're all
I
here.
do.
some of us.
Some of us.
Hey, but seriously, for next year, tell your friends.
Yeah.
This is
I'm trying.
the more people we have come, the more stuff we can do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
It would be nice to hang out with everybody again and meet new people who do this. I never would have met a majority of you had you not come back. I certainly wouldn't have seen Peyton again. Because you're in Key West. Well, can we give a big thank you to the alumni president for moderating?
Yeah, thank you guys so much, panel members.